What's up, fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. So, I am not in any live trades. I am just testing a theory out for, you know, the all-time highs. Um, so I figured I could make a quick vid. My last trade setup was actually from these lows here. And as you can see, I'm in a short. I don't actually, for my live account, I wouldn't have taken this because it's a very, 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 very bullish day. Like, I mean, come on. You've got to be kidding, right? It is insane in the membrane. So I was just curious because we've taken all-time highs yet again. And I'm there's a general setup that early on I would normally try and take. And it's basically after the high is a pivotal high has been taken, and we have like a little space on the 30 seconds like that, and a drop, then, I take the short. So this is kind of a messed up entry. The entry would normally be here. Um, but I'm just testing the theory that it's just not a good play on days like this. So today I've taken two longs and those were okay and no muss, no fuss. Um, and they worked out quite well for me. But this, trying to go short in a very, very strong bullish market is just kind of insane. Um, I have, based off of the Fibonacci, specified certain take profit areas that they've hit so far. So my TP 1.5 that they already hit here, and further up at 840.50 is the TP2 based off of the daily Fibonacci setup. So just to be clear, I wouldn't actually take this because it's such a strong market. I would need to see some more follow through with it. And again, from an entry perspective, since it's a paper thing, I didn't set a limit order, but the entry would have been here. And I'm just looking for 105 ticks. So let's see how that plays. The thing is, like, they've been having a hard time getting um over the hump, and they finally have. So based off of that, like, it's in my mind, I'm thinking it's not a bad play for a short, but again, I wouldn't actually take this because A, it's after three, and B, super bullish day, so I wouldn't want to, but I'm just testing out my normal one of the setups, but I'm finding that the continuation setup has been working a lot better for me versus oh, there's some equal lows down here, yeah, past there, so we'll see. What I do like though is the fair value gap was holding up. Nothing rolled past the halfway point. Uh, so the confirmation for this is if they like take this out with some alacrity and drop properly without, any drama. I need them to clear all of these with some determination and speed. Like I said, I don't necessarily trust it, so it's not an entry I would have actually taken. But so while we're waiting on this, they did take it out. They didn't close a body, but they did take it out. So we'll see if there's a nice continuation. But it was shallow. I don't necessarily like that. There's a fair value gap right here on the 1 minute that they need to bust through. Right now they've only tapped it a little bit, and it's not very convincing if you ask me. Not very convincing at all. So what I'm finding is on days where the bias is so very, very obvious, like in my mind, I'll basically just not take any trades that aren't in the direction of the bias. So just as an example, my PM long, and I'll put this at the 1 minute. Just watch it from there. Don't need to watch it from 30 seconds. So my PM long, so they swept again, then they dropped, and again, no shorts I trusted, but this is the long that I took. And again, looking for 105 ticks. Now it took them an hour to get there. Now I didn't get all of that because once we moved up here, I was expecting them to take this out. They did not, which was very disappointing. And they dropped back down, and my stop was right under here. So I got stopped for like a tiny profit, 15 bucks. And then they proceeded to just mess about until finally they took it out to what? 316. Very, 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 very annoying. My morning trade was better. Again, you see how they're like hanging about in this? They need to drop below it with some conviction. Right now, in my mind, until they do that, like my short will be uh, validated, I guess is the word. Anyway, while waiting for that, so my morning long, and again, so my morning long, where was it? 10:45. Let me check my notes, the time that I took the longy long this morning. I was on the 32nd, so that was at 21, just below 21,680. Right, so this guy right here. So once they popped up, I set my entry here. Sure that's the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. And I was looking for 105 ticks. Easy peasy. But as usual, I got the entry, they popped up, and then they popped up here, and then they went ahead and messed about. I moved my stop a little bit higher, so I got stopped. So I moved my stop up here, so about 325. And then they ran up and, would have given me my full pull. But, that's the nature of the business. How are we looking over here? Did we get a good drop yet? Nah, they're still messing about. They're still messing about. It's these types of days that I don't like. After the big moves, everything is really choppy after that. So let's see if we can get some alacrity with this. I marked it in here because it's TradingView and I don't care as much. But after that big move up is one of the cleaner 30-second attempts. So I don't mind that one at all. Something that I tend to do is I tend to move my stop too soon. And, that, means I tend to leave a lot of money on the table. So I really still need to work on that. But my confidence in the trades have gotten a lot better, which is amazing. And my yeah, it's just my patience while in the trade though, like that still needs work. So, all right. So now we've dropped below this fair value gap right here. I needed to stay below it comfortably. And that should continue if I have my way, but 9 times out of 10 I don't. And it's 337, so maybe we'll get some sort of like push for the 345 macro. We shall see. We shall see. Hmm. It is raining cats and dogs, can I tell you? I mean, for realsies, like it is going, going. Like it doesn't have anywhere else to go, you know? It's out of control. But, I'm only trying to get 105 ticks, which for me, if it's taking an hour to get there, it's painful. It's a painful wait. I have to worry about. But I get it. One day I'm gonna be the type of trader that will just set it and forget it and just walk away. I have a post-it actually. um, yep. Set it and forget it. I still need to work on that one, and try to remember every day to set it and forget it. Mm, mm, mm. So we've already used this guy up. Don't care about that one. Now I'm more interested in seeing if they'll respect this guy. It looks like that's gonna be a big fat no. Order block, still, old low, wicking to mess with you. I gotta love a good wicking. Hmm. So this is also a test for me to not move my stop, right? Like, so right now I want them to come down and take this out, and then I can move my stop. Technically, if I'd taken the entry that I should have taken up here, like waited to see if they would come back up in this paper account, then my stop would be right above this high right here. So maybe I should put it there to just kind of replicate what that would look like. Because, on the 30 seconds, the entry's here inside of this fair value gap. And then after this drop, I would like to see them do some respecting, and I can now set my stop here, or I tend to be a little bit more aggressive because I want to not um, give back. If I'm in the green, so if I've gone 200-300 bucks in the green, then I'm moving my stop like maybe 30-40 bucks, just depending on where the candles are into profits, and be okay with that. So right now, from a stop perspective, we have a fair value gap here, a tiny one here. So then my stop can technically be right above the candle that forms it. And it should technically be safe. That's one option. The other option could be above the high, because now we have a high and a lower high, a higher high, lower high, and a shift. So, like I said, it is a bull market. So shorts for me don't make a lot of sense, but I'll still take them. Right now, we're wicking into this fair value gap, but nobody's into it. So I, think it's still viable. So we're just gonna let that hopefully play out one way or another. So gonna let this because even with the 1 minute order block right here with the shift, it's still respecting it too. So what I didn't want to see was them, pop back over this, but the short's still valid. Um, yeah. And it's fascinating how like you don't need to, so there's equal lows here. So for the general sake of testing purposes, like once it hits here, I'll most likely just take the profits, right? But if we drop down lower and take this low out with some alacrity, I'll move it into, what time is it? 3:43. All right, let's see what the 3:45 macro is going to do for me in the next shy of 2 minutes. I'm just thought this might be good since I haven't really been posting like a lot, and I don't want to record my live trades on uh Thinkorswim. Okay, so we did shallowly take that out right there. So I want this to close 16 seconds. Come on, close with some alacrity under there. It did take the low out, but we are at that standard deviation of 1.5. So, and we spent a lot of time hanging out. So I personally think we'll just kind of waterfall. If this is going to actually go, we'll waterfall down to take out those equal lows below. Because I mean, PPI is going to be it's going to be tomorrow. So then they'll have other opportunities to, they need to set it up. So far, Thursday reversals might get a short day. Tomorrow, let's see. Um, mm, yeah, so I mean, everything here says to go long. And let's see what the other indices are doing. Uh, ES refused to take out a new all-time high. The Nazi did its thing, so we have some divergence here. That's going up, that's going down. So let's see who's stronger, right? Will it be ES or the Nazi? The Dow has just sort of been kind of hanging out in a range, hanging out inside of this range here. Not super exciting. So should get some waterfall action shortly if they're ready for that with the macro. But they're spending too much time hanging about. But I mean, look at how much time they spent in here too. It's just so annoying. It did take the low out. Based on my entry, my stop should be here. If I had set if my entry was here, my stop would move here now. We've broken that low. And I'll just continue to like follow it down um, as it moves. From my market entry, it's not that great, but and yep, yep. Hmm. So what do we have here? Yeah, sometimes I think like the 2 minute looks a lot cleaner to trade with, you know, because then, consolidated order blocks and things, and sometimes the 1 minute can feel a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little busy, you know? But right now, let's see, this full run up It's created here, so for a proper drop, they need to take that low out anyway. But given the afternoon's action, the hemming and hawing is really annoying. 3:47. So I don't like the end of the day. I think unless there's news, it tends to it tends to um be kind of slow, you know? I really like that. Now, here's something that happens to me on a regular basis when I am trading, right? I, you know, once I start to see like them hemming and hawing in a specific area, I really, really want to, if my stop's not in profit, like I want to move it in profit. Like even if it's just like a couple ticks like that, And then what generally happens is I get, stopped for like a tiny amount. It like comes back and taps that order block and then it goes. Now, what I don't like, with what feels like low liquidity right now is the fact that we've barely gone like um what was that? 5 handles. We haven't even made 5 handles. Hmm. I mean, we haven't even hit 200, right? And I would expect it to start to move down. And let's do that because it looks like it wants to drop a bit. And there's space for it. Equal lows here and here. But this, man, this thinking about it is ugly. Look at the 15-minute candle that's forming for this. Like, it is an ugly candle. At least we're formed below that TP 1.5 number, 806.50. Um, but a lot of times when I see them hemming and hawing, I'm more tempted to take my profits and then maybe look for a different entry. The 5-minute candle is literally a doji. You probably can't see it. Let me see. You can make myself even smaller. The 5-minute candle is a doji. Or it was a second ago. So it's still forming. There's what, 2 seconds left in it. Oh, look at that. Look, what was that? The 350. So maybe the 350 macro is what we need to go work with. So we slice down and we're going to just move with a little alacrity before 4 o'clock. Because now we finally like done a little damage, yeah? So I'm gonna move back to the 1 minute. So that's nice. Let's just continue dropping there. 290. So at this point, I'm just gonna move my stop just of that. And I think we should get a nice little move. We do have this wick to contend with right here. A few wicks actually. So let's take a look at the sections for the wick, see how they like blow through them or not. So 0.25 on that wick and then 0.75. Okay. So we haven't made it to the 0.25 of the wick yet. Nice drop. I would think they'd tap this and go on the 1 minute. Fair value gap here. They've closed below with some alacrity. Very nice, very nice. I'd like to see it act as an inversion fair value gap now. And not every single one of these is useful, but we're in areas where I've seen them basically just tap, 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 run, Respect it, respect it. But this, I like that. I like the fact that they dropped below it, closed below it. For me, this would be an area to, if I were, once I get to the point where I can like trade more than one contract, then I could add one. So if I took one here, I could add another here, and then let it ride. So let's see if they like bust through the wick before 4 o'clock. You can do it. Oh, what time is it? All right, so I have a hard stop for this. Let's see if they can. That new candle's looking good, so I'm gonna take that fib off just so it's not annoying. And let's see if they run that out with some alacrity now. Next one. 3:15. Come on, you can do it. Let's see. ES has already taken its low out, so it's like whatever's gonna make me the muns. So right now I feel comfortable moving my stop there. Let's lock in a little more. Next up on the hit parade, and I'm just tracking fair value gaps with this guy. I'm just tracking him because we shifted, tapped the midpoint, and then ran up for that one. If we're gonna do the same thing, 354. Those like really, really, really aggressive moves, man. They really get me sometimes. It's like, whoa, it's so jarring. But look at what they did, right? They, let's see, they don't close below the halfway point of that. Like, I'll, you know, move my stop to take, well, my stop's in a decent place. It's not in anywhere all that amazing. They, uh, 354, like, it's not the time. Look at where they're staying, like the midpoint. So they need to bust through that. There you go. There you go. Just roll. Just roll with it. You got this. Come on. I gotta close this out at 4. Quit playing. New 5-minute candle lights 5 minutes before 4 o'clock. Come on, don't play games. Almost there. You can do it. We haven't taken those equal lows out. So close. You can do it. Let's lock in a little more. There's one more of those violent drops. Let's do it. You can do it. You can do it. Don't particularly care if I get stopped out, but because, money is money. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they're so close and they do love to mess about, but we're at the end of the day, so let's see if the messing about is to finish the move or play games. Ah, it's about 4 minutes before I have to close this out. So technically, they should respect the midpoint of this and continue dropping to take those lows out. You got 4 beautiful minutes left. Don't play games. Hmm. If it's going to continue down, they'll stay below the midpoint and, do their thing. As such, I will do this because I need to go. There's one here. So not that one, but this one. See if they'll drop. Okay. Come on. We have 13 seconds. Wicks do the damage. Still respecting that midpoint. And there we go. Come on, just push through. Did we take those lows out? Not yet. All right, y'all. Should run through. Let's lock in a little more. Just take that low out and just run now. The plan. Quit playing. There you go. There you go. Just run. You got it. So they ran those lows out. I'm not gonna, yeah. So my original trade would have worked beautifully like that. Voila. So that's all. Good test. Very annoyingly choppy, but not as annoying as my other trade. Be safe, Shakira.